in the offense. And so it might be a situation where Michi's getting the ball to the half court and being the person to set the offense, but not necessarily being the person that runs the offense. And maybe they run the offense
Right.
through another point. And that, that's an option, but it is something to think about because I traditionally, I don't think about Eli. I don't think about Michi as being quote unquote prototypical point guards, the guys that are being distributors, because both of those guys, they want a jacket, right? They want to get it up. They want to be the guy to say, he's on fire. That's what they want to hear from Michi, right? That's what they both want to hear about themselves. And so, the video games don't make any proclamations about setting the offense or pocket passes and things like that. So we'll see, but it is an interesting proposition.
803-404-6100. Let's get out to the phone. Speaking of he's on fire, Will wants to weigh in on our video game that we just played. Will, how you doing this morning? What do you got for us?
I think the game is NBA Jam because I was just up in Cincinnati playing that game with my dad.
You are correct. NBA Jam.
That is correct, young Will.
That is a very good. Who did you play with real quick? Do you remember who you played with?
My dad.
No, yeah. Who did you use? What players?
I used the Lakers because they had Shaq O'Neal and Kobe.
Good.
Shaq and Kobe.
Good
pick.
call.
Good
Very
pick.
good call, Will.
Good pick.
Good luck. Will, real quick, where you go to school this morning?
Elementary.
Excellent. Excellent. Awesome, buddy. Well, you have a great morning. Thank you for calling in. Good guess on the game.
Great
Good
guess, Will. We
Excellent.
appreciate it. And he's playing at the Retro Arcade. Appreciate you.
Retro Arcade. 803-404-6100. Preston's got plenty of those.
Don't worry, we got more coming because
We got-
any excuse to talk about video games, we are here.
And we've lost the crowd here. They're into Papa Shot. And they're not good at it right now. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game. Hey, Jen, where did you send? All right, you.
Hey, this is Preston Thorne from Midlands Landscaping and Lawn. Paul Romenstein, the proud owner of Midlands Landscaping and Lawns, has one question for you. Are you going to let the weeds win this summer? Of course not. If you're not going to try to let them win, you need to try the Midlands Green Treatment Program. It feeds your lawn and wipes out those weeds for good. The Midlands Green Treatment Program delivers professional fertilization that nourishes your lawn while eliminating those doggone weeds. They treat you like a neighbor because they are your neighbor. And Paul Romenstein lives and works right here with you. So take back your yard, be the lawn MVP on your block. Visit hateweeds.com. That's right. Visit hateweeds.com or call 803-356-8080. Call 803-356-800. Fight back.
Highway 378 at Hallbrook Drive. We have a report of an accident there. Do be cautious this morning. Some standing water from earlier rain showers and still a little bit of rain happening across the Midlands. But we should see that clearing out mid-morning, and then we'll be left with cloudy conditions. Rain likely tomorrow, 70 for the high. Chance for some showers on Sunday and a high of 72. Rain in different parts across the Midlands right now, 63 and 107.5 the game.
Guess that music. Guess that music. We're talking gaming today. And any excuse I get an opportunity to hear some of these classic bangers, we're going to listen to. Preston Thor, Bill Gutter, Jensen is in the studio. We are out on location at Midlands Tech at the South Carolina East with South Carolina Esports. And we are celebrating the first South Carolina Esports State Championship. We'll be here today talking about gaming a lot.
I'll just say this. That game is right there on the cusp of before my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that music, but that is a classic. I had to go back and look at our cut list to see which one that was. I couldn't have named it. But if you can name that, send us in a text message or give us a phone call, 803-404-6100. By the way, during the break, I made 6 shots, pop a shot from where I'm sitting. I feel pretty good about my skill here at 6:35. You can go to our live stream this morning. Go to the Game TV Radio on YouTube, and you can check us out. We're on our live stream, and we'll be doing some pop a shot from where we are. Well, from where I was sitting, we'll actually get a little. I might be better where I'm sitting than getting up close. Who knows? So we'll find. How good are you at the old pop a shot? Speaking of basketball and point guards,
I don't know. We'll find out here in a minute.
We kind of like Eli Ellis there. See if we can get it right. Again, 803-404-6100. So we talked a little basketball, a little football. Shane Beamer talking about the quarterback situation. Dante Reno transfers, and part of the reason we think he transferred is, as you would say, a guy with luscious locks.
Oh, man. So this guy first caught my attention 2 years ago when there was a viral picture of him going around, and he had a head of luscious hair, and he was wearing a bonnet to protect his hair. And I'd say, who's that guy? And then my students informed me about who he was and who that guy was. Thought he was just a random player, but he eventually ended up being Cutter Woods. And Cutter Woods has been an excellent player in the state of South Carolina, winning 1 state championship, going to 2. He's a winner, something I truly value in the quarterback position, and it seems as if he has been making a lot of progress in the quarterback room to this point.
Jen, let's hear it. This is going to be clip number 6. This is Shane Beamer last night in the Welcome Home Tour talking about being impressed by the true freshman in his first semester of college football, Cutter Woods.
A lot. He's a winner. You saw that in high school with Coach Lane and the way that he plays in games. He's just a gamer, and you saw that with all the state championships they've been a part of during his time there. He's very much like Lenoris, and nothing bothers him. I mean, we had a scrimmage at the beginning of spring, and we make the young quarterbacks live in scrimmages, meaning they can be tackled and hit. Whereas, we did that with Lenoris, but this year, for example, Lenoris had a different colored jersey on, so we wouldn't hit him. But I think it's important for those young quarterbacks to learn the speed of the game and understand it's not 7-on-7. You can't sit back there and pat the ball. I think a lot of freshman quarterbacks that are fresh out of high school would get in a situation like that and it's a lot. And Cutter, he's out there during that scrimmage, smiling, laughing, just having the time of his life out there, knowing he's about to get hit by Dylan Stewart and all these people on defense if they get back there. But he's just a competitor. And you saw flashes of it. We do a lot of team competition, team building things in the off season, and we had a team wiffle ball competition, and his ability to pitch as a wiffle ball pitcher was elite and hit. He's just a really good athlete and just a winner, and that's what stood out about him so far.
I think there's more to this backup quarterback battle than we believe. And this goes back to something that we discussed yesterday also. What kind of season does Lenore Sellers have? Is this the final season of Lenore Sellers?
Oh, if we plan on going and doing all the things that everybody said we were going to do yesterday, if we're playoff or bust, if we're not going to be impressed with bowl games, then Lenore is going to the NFL. So this is the bar. If Lenore does not have the season that warrants him going to the NFL, the Gamecocks will not have. We won't be going to the ReliaQuest Bowl. If he does not, I will say it again, in case you didn't hear me. If he doesn't have the season that warrants him going to the NFL, we won't even get to the ReliaQuest Bowl. So our best bet is for Lenore to have a great season, him go to the NFL, be drafted number 1 like Patrick Perrette said yesterday, or maybe number 4 like Todd McShay said, and move forward. And that's where you start to get into this conversation about who the backup quarterback is.
Part of it is this goes back. I keep saying this goes back, but let me revisit something from yesterday. If we believe what you just said, if we believe that this is it for Lenore Sellers, he's going to have this great year. How much do you play the backup quarterback to have them slightly ready for next year, or do you not think about that?
No, you don't. Yesterday everybody was saying it's all in, bust. This is it. The window's closing. So unless it's a blowout and there are no non-competition, you just don't leak the quarterback in. Especially,
and hold on, and let me be clear because I think people got confused yesterday when I said they should have played Lenoris a little bit more. All I meant was packages. I'm not saying, hey, it's 3rd and 6 and we're down 3 with 7 minutes to go. Put in the backup. They're sitting Steve Spurrier and Steven Garcia and Connor Shaw. All I'm saying is, do you find a position to get the backup in, like say in the second quarter for a drive?
No.
I
don't know. It depends on how good we are. You don't just leak somebody in.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, again, I'm not saying that like, hey, we've given up 3 or we've scored 3 straight touchdowns. You see what I'm not?
Let's say the score is 24-2, and maybe you want to put somebody in just to get them a little bit of a look. No, you don't just leak the backup quarterback in, especially if the backup quarterback is Luke Doty, who's not going to actually provide any value moving forward as far as the team is concerned. Now, if it's Cutter Woods, I guess that's a conversation, but no, you don't just try and get the backup quarterback. He's the backup for a reason. You want the starter in there.
We aren't 100% sure he's the backup. There's Aaron Nolan there too, and Aaron Nolan was a top recruit. That's South Carolina has we weren't doing the show together a couple years ago. We were sitting here. One of the guys asked me about doing the show if we were doing it from home, and I said no. We came back in 2021. Jen,
yeah, a couple is 2. We've been doing it for 2. I'm about to get like your work.
No,
we've been together for 2 years.
No, I'm about to throw something at you. And you're gonna be like, wow. I think, but Jen also, by the way, because Jen had to come in during all of COVID. Jen was always coming in studio. We were doing it from the house. And it's crazy to think that it's been 4 years now, almost 4 years since we've been back in studio. But I want to say we were in studio. Let me think of the year, Preston, because Sports Illustrated put out an article. I want to say it was 2019. And this is crazy to think that that was 6 years ago. I want to say it was 2019. And in the article, it listed South Carolina as the second best quarterback room in the country.
Okay.
Can you name who was in that quarterback room?
The Carry-On Joyner.
That's correct.
Ryan Holinsky.
That is correct.
I'm falling short. Who else?
There was the starter.
Who's the starter?
The original starter who kicked a trash can or a locker and broke his foot.
Oh, Jake Bentley. That's right. Okay. All right, yeah.
But I'm
working on it.
And so Southern Cal was the number. I remember having the discussion that morning of South Carolina's quarterback situation and what Will Muschamp had kind of built at the quarterback position. Shane Beamer Cutter Woods was not a 4-star like Holinsky, and at that time, and I think in some way, shape, or form, maybe it was referencing a commitment from Luke Doty, but I think I want to say that at that time it had Luke Doty on that list as well, but he didn't arrive until 2020, to which Jake Bentley had already left. But I want to say Luke Doty in some way, shape, or form was on that list. But Cutter Woods was not a 4-star, but you look at it and what the praise they're giving you, you're kind of like, this is as good as you can get probably in the transfer portal era.
The quarterback room is definitely strong. We knew that there was going to be some attrition there from that. And while Cutter Woods is not a 4-star, the thing that he was different from, say, a Ryan Helinski is that he's a winner. He's a proven winner. And as Shane said, he wins at wiffle ball. He wins in his high school team. So I think it's different. And more importantly, all I needed to hear was somebody say, oh, the ball comes out of his hands a little bit different. That is when somebody says that, there might be something to pay attention to. So the backup quarterback competition is very interesting because you have a choice. Do you put the young man or the young men, Aaron Nolan and Cutter Woods, who are very young, who perceivably have a future for this program? Do you put the old wily veteran, Luke Doty, who has somehow made his way back into the conversation? Or do you put him in because he has veteran leadership? I don't know what you do. There's an interesting conversation to be had about what you do at the backup quarterback position.
803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning. Again, Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, we are live from Midlands Technical College here on the Beltline campus, getting ready for the first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship, where tomorrow they'll have 150 competitors across the Palmetto State here to compete in the tournament. We'll continue to tell you about that this morning. You're listening to the early game.
Hey, this is from Midlands Landscaping and Lawn. And Paul Romenstein, the proud owner of Midlands Landscaping and Lawn, has one question for you. Are you going to let weeds win this summer? Of course you're not. And the way you're going to win is to call the Midlands Green Treatment Program. The Midlands Green Treatment Program feeds your lawn and wipes out those weeds for goods. It delivers professional fertilization and nourishes your lawn while eliminating all of the weeds. They treat you like a neighbor because they are your neighbor. And Paul Romenstein lives and works right here with you. So take back your yard. Be the lawn MVP on your block and visit hateweeds.com right now. That's hateweeds.com or call 803-356-8080. That's 803-356-8080.
Bill Gunner for the Mortgage Guru, Jacob Crowder. He is the mortgage guru in this market. I can attest to that because almost 5 years ago, we were talking about 2021 just a minute ago, almost 5 years ago, Jacob was helping put me in my condo on Lake Murray and getting me a great interest rate. And I know interest rates they're kind of they're kind of crazy right now. So you need to call. You need to speak with Jacob Crowder and First Palmetto Bank and see what he can do for you. If you're thinking about refinancing, if you're thinking about moving, Jacob Crowder is the guy to get in touch with. 803-719-1005. Again, that's 803-719-1005. You can also email him any questions you have. The letter J, Crowder, CROWDER, at firstpalmetto.com. That's right. Give him a phone call today, 803-719-1005, and see what options are available to you and your family. If you're looking to refinance, if you're looking to buy, now is the time to contact. So give him a phone call this weekend, 803-719-1005. Tell him Bill Gunner sent you. It's a classic.
Another classic. Another
I
banger.
can get that one. I think we should all be able to get that one.
Yeah. Do you know that I actually won that one? Like I beat it, got all the
You
way to
beat
the
it?
end. I did.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's
Yep.
the classic. 803-404-6100. Can you guess that video game theme? Can you guess that video game theme? A lot of folks are coming in, texting in.
Yeah, I'm going back. Ray and the co-pilot both got the previous one,
Mm-hmm.
Tecmo Ball.
That's correct.
Bo
That is
Jackson.
correct.
I'm not sure if people are just texting in games now or if they were
Perfect.
guessing on the.
If you just texted in games, that's perfect because now that means we got you. Obviously, we'll have some more conversation talking about baseball and getting off the sticks. If you didn't hear, they got skunked. If you don't know what a skunk is, I would say you're not an avid gamer. If you don't know what a skunk is, but yes, baseball has the run rule. Well, they got skunked, and skunked is when you're playing video games, specifically football games. You get down 21 points before halftime. You get skunked so you can move the games along. Well, baseball got skunked last night, and we'll go back and have a little bit more conversation about that. But for now, since we're talking video games, we're talking esports, we're talking gaming, as we're here in Midlands Tech supporting the South Carolina State Esports State Championship, which I'll be playing two video games that maybe some of these listeners right here may not be familiar with Smash Brothers and Rocket League. Bill, what's your level of familiarity with Super Smash Bros. And Rocket League? 0?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, there's a lot of folks. It is huge. It is huge. And maybe we're going to get Ryan Panther on here to have a conversation about whether or not who's the GOAT, because there's a lot of GOAT conversation that could be had about this. But the question I want to ask, 803-404-6100, what is the video game that defines your generation? Because I think you can tell how old somebody is by the video game that defines their generation. The same way Bill knows nothing about Smash Bros. And Rocket League, that would obviously age him out. There are certain video games that define generation. So 803-404-6100, what is the video game that defines your generation? Not your favorite video game. That might be different. But what is the one that defines your generation?
Yeah, first texture comes in with Halo. And, yeah, I know that that was huge. I wasn't a Halo fan. Halo, Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. Huge gaming platform.
Yeah, never got into those. By the way, two people already weighed in. Very good. Super Mario Brothers theme. Got that.
Cool.
So very, very on top of that. Halo, yep, never got into that. The kind of
first person shooters.
Pack, yeah, well, I was gonna say pack games because you play with 4 of your buddies. Like Austin he got into what's the two? Minecraft was one, and another one.
That would be a generation defining video game.
Yeah, is it Minecraft? Am I saying that right?
That is one.
Good Lord, I've never felt older.
You sound like my dad saying, "Turn off that Nintendo," when he was talking about Sega Genesis.
Yeah, several of y'all weighing in. The co-pilot goes with Punch Out.
Big one. Huge. Little Mac.
John weighed in, gave us Super Mario Brothers. GoldenEye, yeah, James Bond, GoldenEye.
Don't worry, we got it on deck.
That was the original one.
Shout out to Miss Curitan, R.I.P. Miss Curitan, my second mother. I spent so much time at James Curitan's house playing GoldenEye that I'll be eating them out of house and home in that room playing GoldenEye in that little room. Yeah, shout out to GoldenEye.
Keep sending them in. I see a bunch of them coming in. I'll get to these. Let's get to the phone lines. 803-404-6100. Let's go to Mike. Mike, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Gamecock baseball. So y'all know I'm not doing that.
Wait, Mike. Before you do that, what's your favorite baseball video game?
All right, I'm going with MLB The Show, man.
All right, cool. Now we got.
Austin was playing that yesterday. He's playing the new one.
That gives me your age range. All right, now shoot.
Yeah, y'all. So last night was rough, y'all. I mean, no other way to slice it. But y'all, I've been saying this, y'all. Maneri does not know to manage games. He obviously can't get our team prepared to even play a game, y'all. I mean, we're not just losing; we're losing by some of the worst we've ever lost in the past decade. I mean, I'll even say it. I was a fan of getting rid of Kingston. I didn't think we could get much worse, but man, Maneri certainly proved me wrong. And for anybody who thinks that he should keep him, I would just say, look at what he's doing now. We're losing the worst we have. He's not having the team. Either the team is not prepared or they're not playing for him. Either way, that's a problem. And so I don't see how Donati can justify keeping him. I know the financial thing, that's a big component, but still, fans aren't going to come. By and large, I will tell you, I'll be there next week. I watched all of it last night, but y'all, this has got to stop, y'all. This is not good, and this is not something that,
Gotcha.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Buddy. Jen, do we have time to get to Ernest real quick about video games?
Yep, got about 40 seconds.
All right, Ernest, you got about 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, real quick. You got to use Mario as an intro one morning, Bill, because I don't know. And that Mike guy, he's a fair weather fan. You got to stick with it. Maneri was given a bad problem. We got to let him fix it.
That's a great call. Ernest, you did your thing.
20 seconds. Good
My
job.
man, way to get in and get out. We
Mario.
appreciate you.
All right. We'll get to a bunch of y'all. Got Pong. I see Pong, Space Invaders, Donkey Kong.
I'm aging everybody. If you're Pong, I got you.
803-404-6100. Hour 2. Another texter. I'm 56. Pong for Christmas, 1975.
Sounds about right.
Hour 2 is on the way. Live from Midlands Technical College here on Beltline. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Corley Pool Solutions, where they are the leader. They are the preeminent company when it comes to keeping your pool maintained. They believe in providing the highest quality swimming pool service at the most affordable price to you and your family. So you need to line up your maintenance today. I know that we're getting into summer. The kids are about to be out of school. You're going to be hanging out on the weekends. You want to have that pool looking spotless when people come over or when you're ready to use it. So call Tracy Corley and his team today, 803-445-8109. It is more affordable for you to use Tracy Corley and his team than it is for you to try and maintain the pool for yourself. Not only that, but it's time saving. You don't have to go to the pool store. You don't have to do all the work. You get to relax and enjoy everything while his incredible team takes care of your pool. So give him a phone call, 803-445-8109. Line up your pool maintenance today. Don't wait another day. Again, 803-445-8109. Tell him Bill Gunner sent you.
American Italian Way at Pineview Drive, we have a report of an accident there. Also, Highway 378 at Halbrook Drive might encounter a slowdown due to an accident. The rain is going to be clearing out this morning, and definitely looking forward to that. Really, by the time that your commute is over, it should be kind of out of here. 84 for the high today, going to drop down to 70 tomorrow with chances of rain off and on throughout the day. And then for your Mother's Day, some showers, 72 for the high. Right now, looking at 63, couple spots in the Midlands, still getting just a little bit of rain. But again, and be careful out there because there could be some standing water from that overnight rain activity.
Ah, 7 a.m. as I can look outside from Midlands Technical College here off of Beltline, where we are here getting set for the first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship. It'll be hosted tomorrow, not today, but it'll be hosted right here at the Midlands Technical College Beltline campus, and the competition will bring together 150 competitors, middle and high schools throughout the Palmetto State, and we'll get more information right now from a good buddy of mine, Ryan Panther, who I just learned for only about, 40 years. I mispronounced your last name. You were so nice. You never, ever corrected me, but he is the executive director and the co-founder of the South Carolina Scholastic Esports, and good to have you on this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. We're excited to get started and get going with our first ever state esports championship.
Preston is our age. We're all the same age. So,
good.
So is Preston. Preston, you said in the previous segment, you said the game that defines your generation.
The game that defines your generation. I feel like each generation has generation-defining games. So when they were talking about Super Smash Bros. Or Rocket League, that's a little bit out of my prime gaming generation. When people were bringing up the idea of Pong, well, that's a little bit before my prime generation. So you saying when we played the theme song for Tecmo Bowl that you just might have missed that. So yeah, all generations have especially with the advent of video games, I feel like have a generational defining game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because it also comes with the different consoles too.
Correct.
Whether it's your NES, whether it's your Sega Genesis, and then once you hop forward to your PlayStation, your Xbox, that kind of is that era, what those defining games are in those kind of eras.
Right. So let's go back on that. What do you define as your console? Because mine's a little different, but so I say mine's not a little different. There's going to be a lot of people that agree with me on this, but what would you say is the console that really got you into gaming?
Well, so at a younger age, it was the Sega Genesis. I played a lot of that.
That's
Sonic, all of that. But what really got me into gaming was the first Xbox.
Okay.
But I was obviously college age then. So once that hit, because that's when online gaming really started happening. We started getting into playing Halo and your Call of Duties. That's at the beginning of it, and that's what really got me hooked.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. For me, it was probably Sega Genesis. With my best friend, he made the choice to go Xbox wise, and he was going to be deeper into the gaming aspect. And I think when you hear this, when you say the phrase gaming, I think people think, I'm just sitting around playing Mario. That's not gaming. What can you define what gaming is?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up, because it used to be, and it's still the connotations out there, but things have changed. It's not just sitting in your basement playing video games anymore. It is a social avenue. The whole reason that I got hooked is that I was able to play with my friends anywhere, anytime, and play the games that we wanted to play. Now, I mean, I've been playing Madden tournaments with my buddies every year. We go through and do, online leagues, NCAA, and it's like an annual thing. We all get on, we hang out, we do our thing, and it's, kind of gone are the days of going to hang out at the bars, so to speak. We go and we hang out at home and we play our games together.
Right.
Real quick, Sega Genesis. I thought I was a little. I thought Nintendo was bigger, but all three of us have said Sega Genesis, and I think that's kind of interesting.
It
Well,
is.
yeah,
Nintendo's huge.
Yeah,
But
Nintendo was huge, but again, Nintendo might have been like obviously I played Nintendo, but my thing was Sega Genesis.
Okay.
It was a little bit, they had 3 buttons, it altered Beast and Sonic. It's just a little bit different. But then also other people was on the other side. So it was kind of like, you had your Genesis people and you had your Super Nintendo people, and they did not cross. We don't cross paths with each other because y'all play your games and we play our game. You got Mario, we got Sonic.
do you have the Dreamcast?
I'd never had Dreamcast. I did play Dreamcast, the short-sighted, ill-fated Dreamcast.
Yeah, it was a great machine, but yeah,
I mean, we can definitely go down the path, like Neo Geo and all those types of games. Yeah, it was definitely.
Genesis was the first one to have actual, or to my knowledge, one of the first ones to have online capability. It had like the online browser, so it would dial up and all that good stuff.
I just remember them saying 16-bit capability. I didn't even know what a bit was. I was like, it has 16 bits. It's got to be good.
So let's talk about what you got. Well, number one, let's talk about how you got this started. Ryan Panter joining us, executive director, co-founder, South Carolina Scholastic Esports. And if you're just tuning in again, tomorrow here at Midlands Technical College, they will be hosting the first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship. It's state championship time. I think we're going to catch up if he wakes up with Lou Bijak in a minute as we wrap up our high school highlights of the year. But the first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship, how did this kind of all come together?
So I'm executive director of this group, and we're a nonprofit. What happened was I am the esports director for Lexington School District 1. We started esports a couple years ago, and with talking with several other people around the state, myself and the other co-founder, David Griggs, who's in Somerville, we got to talking and said there has to be a way for us to help organize this. It's just out there. It's kind of like the Wild West. Everybody's doing their own thing. And we wanted to help create a model to support the coaches and the students and the players. And so we decided to come up with this particular group, South Carolina Scholastic Esports, but also we wanted a state championship. We wanted to be able to help give some validity behind it so that students could come back home with that trophy and be like, look what Lexington won, or look what Somerville did, or look what Ashley Ridge did, and how we were able to bring home a championship to our school. Because it is an opportunity to showcase it's more than just sitting in your basement playing a video game. The team aspect of it is huge, and people need to see that.
So how does it work? Break it down, because they just put together a team and they're all coming up here. Correct. And they kind of entered, or
well, every school can kind of manage their teams differently, but for the most part, I'm going to generalize it in that a lot of us have kind of a varsity JV type approach to it. You got your varsity squad, your JV squad, but they do run in online leagues, so you can just hop on, sign in, and you're playing against other teams. Could be anywhere in the whole East Coast if that's the case. But yeah, you pick your teams, or you generally you try out, just like with any sport. You get on your varsity JV, you got your squad, and they're playing all the time. It's not like, oh, we just show up to practice after school and just hang out. No. They're running through strategies. They're running through how they're going to, especially in Rocket League. Rocket League, if you don't know, is basically like soccer with cars. You're driving around, kicking a soccer ball around, trying to get it into a goal. So with that, you got to have strategy. Who's pushing forward? Who's playing defense? How am I moving around? Hey, these guys are pushing hard. How do we? And so with those types of things, they got to practice. I got to practice most of the time, every day. And they're practicing designated times with outside of school because of the way gaming is. They can practice anytime. And so that is a huge part of it, is that team bond, just like with any team, and the communication skills that these students get. And that's one thing we push. Our kind of tagline with South Carolina Scholastic Esports is more than games. The games bring us together, but it's about the other skills they learn and they grow on just from that. I'm sure you guys participate in sports teams yourself, can say the same thing about the teams you're on.
Ryan Panter joining us, executive director, co-founder, South Carolina Scholastic Esports, and again having the first ever state championship here tomorrow. 150 competitors from middle and high schools throughout the Palmetto State. Again, we're here at Midlands Technical College on Beltline. So anybody listening this morning, I just got a text message in asking if someone's listening this morning and they say, well, my son would be really good at that, or my daughter would be really good at that, but we don't do that at our school, at our high school. How would they go about creating that at their school? What do they need to do?
For any schools, they got to have a coach or sponsor to sponsor that particular club or that team, and really depends on what games you want to play, because there's more than just like we picked Rocket League and Super Smash Brothers, but there is Madden. There's all kinds of other stuff. Pick a game. The easiest way to get started is to be able to buy a few Switches for the school, Nintendo Switches, and get started with Rocket League or Mario Kart. And you can join a lot of leagues. Like there's Play Versus is a online league. It's free to play for those schools. So you can get started for very little money. You just gotta find that coach. And just like with any sports, the right coach is going to make that experience better or worse. But that's how you can get started. It's pretty straightforward.
Lou Holtz is an esports coach.
He'd be a good one because he's a good coach. And if you're a good coach in one thing, I'm sure you'd be a good coach in another thing. But he'd have to get up to verse with the technology. But the fundamentals, he would definitely be on us about.
Again, Ryan Pander joining us just a few more minutes here in the 7 o'clock segment at the beginning of 7 o'clock. Executive Director, co-founder, South Carolina Scholastic Esports. So give us a breakdown of how it'll go tomorrow.
Yep. So we'll about 9 o'clock, we open the doors. 9:30, we finish up registration with our teams that are coming in from across the state. We get started about that time, and basically we do kind of practice rounds, like warm up. We call it pool play. We do that right at the beginning. That kind of gets us seeding for the full tournament right after that. So we do a couple of rounds of pool play, then they get started, and just like a bracket, just like you'd see in NCAA college basketball bracket, we get that going, and they go through and it's double elimination. So if they lose twice, that team will be out, but they have a chance. If they lose once and work their way back up, they can work their way up into the championship round. And at the end of the day, and it takes a while for these because we got to run time matches. I mean, we're basically running NCAA tournament in one day. And they should be done between 4 and 6 by in the afternoon.
Before we get out of here, we'll have you back in the 8 o'clock. Let's get some controversy going.
Okay.
Who's the GOAT Super Smash Bros. Player?
Ooh.
I want you to make somebody out there, man. Somebody.
Are you talking about professional? Or? Ooh. See, I mean, I'll admit my shortcomings here. I don't know all the guys out there, so I can't necessarily name who is it. I can tell you that we've got some very talented high schoolers out there right now. So
who's the up and coming Super Smash Bros. Player that we need to be looking out? Who's the 5-star Super Smash Bros. Player?
I won't necessarily give the name, but there's a student down in the Somerville area.
Shout out to the home team.
They are. I know they have competed at the national stage. So we got some players here in our state that are amazing. And I will also do this too. People don't realize how competitive and how good our college programs are. Converse College and Winthrop and Coastal is up and coming. These programs are amazing. Like they have nationally competitive esports teams at the college level, and they're giving out scholarships to our kids. Some of those colleges will be here tomorrow.
Nice.
Ryan Panter, again, Executive Director, co-founder, South Carolina Scholastic Esports. We'll come back in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll get into a few more things. A lot of people weighing in this morning on Games of Your Generation. Bun goes with Super Nintendo and Super Mario World. Greatest console and game ever created.
Whoa.
Hold on. We got a line. Another text always in. If you played Super Nintendo, you were not invited to my house. Only Sega Genesis.
That's what I'm saying. Genesis people only. Altered Beast.
Jim goes with Pong. Another texter goes with Contra. And Kenny goes with, I'm going to have to go with Pokemon. I'm maybe 35, but I still love Pokemon. And my 4 and 6-year-old love the whole franchise.
Pokemon is huge.
We got more. I'll get to more of these. So some of y'all going with plenty of these. 803-404-6100. Thank you to Ryan Panter for joining us again, Executive Director and co-founder of South Carolina Scholastic Esports. We'll be back on in the 8 o'clock hour. When we come back, we'll see if looking to see. Yep, Lou Bezjak is awake. Good news. We'll do some high school highlights of the week when we come back. You're listening to the early
Appreciate
game.
it, Ron.
Yeah.
Are you looking for the best gear to tackle your lawn? Well, Cato's Power Equipment has been family owned and serving the Midlands since 1983. That's right, that's over 40 years. 40 years of professional landscaping. So, from professional landscapers to weekend warriors, third generation owner Ben Cato provides top notch service, great deals, and the mom and pop values that you love. And Ben is determined to raise the standard of sales, service, and retail. At Cato's, we're proud to offer a wide selection of new and pre owned mowers, tractors, and more. So if you're ready to invest in something new, the friendly team is there to make the process easy, help you choose the right equipment, and find financing options. The crew might be young, but they have over 125 years of know-how in outdoor power equipment. So swing by Cato's Power Equipment today. They'll help you power up your next project. Or call them at 803-254-3711. That's Cato's Power Equipment at 803-254-3711.
We have an accident American Italian Way at Pineview Road, also Highway 378 at Pineview Drive. And aside from that, the roads should be slowly clearing. Might be a little standing water due to some of the earlier rains, but the rain will be clearing out today. We'll have some clouds, 84 for the high, then possible rain tomorrow and Sunday. High tomorrow, 70, about 72 for your Sunday. But right now, it's trying to clear a little bit and 62 on 1075 the game.
I don't know this one. I'm gonna be interested.
A banger, a classic. That is a classic. 803-404-6100. Can you guess the theme music? Those, if you know, you know. It's the classic. Came on the original Nintendo system. Had a gold cartridge if you had a real
Gold
one.
cartridge.
Gold cartridge if you had a real one. Some real folks know.
Okay.
803-404-6100. That's a classic banger.
Lou, I don't know if you heard Lou Bijak joining us this morning, filling in for the one and only Chris Deering. We got the one and only Lou Bijak here for the high school highlights of the week. And Lou, did you get to hear that? Are you familiar with whatever we were just playing?
I didn't get to hear it. You guys, I know you were talking about video games and that. And yeah, I know about the cartridges, blowing on the cartridges, the old ColecoVision, Atari, all that stuff, all the fun games and stuff like that.
So what was your
Nintendo.
game? What was your game growing up?
I would say Double Dribble. Double Dribble, Tecmo Bowl were my two favorites. Yeah.
Double Dribble.
Double Dribble. Here's the thing about Double Dribble, Lou. It was very interesting. There was a rumor going around, and at that time we didn't really have the internet, but there was a rumor at that time, like if you dunked 10 times in a row, somehow it would break the backboard. But like I could never get that many in a row. But that was like a urban legend. Did you ever hear that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
That would have been cool though. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it was just a total lie, but it was an urban legend that if you dunked 10 times in a row, the backboard would break, and obviously you never could get quite there.
I think that's. I feel like I did that.
That's all nostalgia.
I feel like I did that.
If you did it, you would remember it.
Yeah, well, Preston, I barely remember what I did last night. Let's not start with.
It doesn't matter.
Let's not start with what I did.
If you broke the backboard as an 8-year-old on Double Dribble, that's something you would never forget.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be a legend.
We're going to get to the high school highlights of the week here. Just a minute. A lot of playoffs going on. 803-404-6100. Send in your greatest accomplishment in video games. I've got a pitch sweep in Bill Walsh College football in the final play of the game with Eric Rett that went 80 yards to win a football game to beat it. I think at that point it was either, I don't know if you remember Bill Walsh football, they didn't have the naming rights for the school, so it was like
No, they did not.
Tuscaloosa or or Pullman, Washington, or I think it was Florida because you could use the state, or Georgia, but yeah, so it might have been Alabama. But anyway, Lou, we are in full on playoff mode, not just here today where we're getting ready for the esports state championships, but baseball, softball, everything. How's baseball treating us right now?
It's good. We had some elimination games last night, and in 5A, the district, some teams had bye, like Lexington, Blythewood, Dutch Fork. Some of the better teams are doing the format's a little bit different this year for 5A and 4A with the extra classification. So top teams got bye, so they've been off a week. We had some teams get eliminated. Big thing last night, AC Florida getting eliminated. I was a little surprised with that baseball-wise. But, yeah, the heavy hitters will get underway tomorrow, weather permitting. You know, the weather's been not looking good for today and tomorrow, so we'll see. Hopefully they'll get them in. But, yeah, baseball underway, softball, and then we got soccer as well. Soccer's in the second round starting today and tomorrow. And then we got boys tennis championships this week at Casey on Saturday. AC Flora boys going for a state championship. And then we got Skiza soccer championships this weekend. Hammond girls, coached by Ryan Brewer, former Gamecock Ryan Brewer, who's an interim coach, has them in the state championship, and Cardinal Newman boys looking to win another state championship under Coach Udy.
Shout out to Coach Brewer. I imagine those women play to the echo of the whistle at all times. At Hammond.
Yeah, I got to see him play the other night. Yeah, they're intense, but he also he likes to have them fun, man. He made sure they have celebrations ready nice. when they score. They were doing some fun stuff. He said they weren't having enough fun when they score, so they got some, like the NFL, they had some choreographed celebrations. I thought it was pretty fun to see the other night.
Nice.
Let's go back to baseball real quick. You kind of hit on that. AC Flora being upset, I believe is what you said. Did that? How much of a upset? How big of a surprise is that?
I thought it was. I thought they had a chance to definitely go deep in the 4A upper state playoffs, but Camden beat them the other night to put them in a losers bracket game, and then York beat them. I think it was 3 or 4-1 last night. So York will go play Camden. Camden will play for a district championship tomorrow. So yeah, I thought coming in the year they're one of the favorites, and seeing them in Forest Acres Classic, I thought they had a really good chance with their pitching and hitting. They were pretty balanced, and you don't see them out in the district round, at least not even making it to the district championship too often. So that was kind of a surprise.
Let's go over to softball real quick locally. Give me a breakdown of what we got going on locally here in the Midlands with the softball state championship, with softball playoffs, and what's left.
Yeah, I think Lexington has a good shot. They won the other night. They'll play tonight in a winners bracket game. They've looked strong all year. Chapin lost last night, so they're in the losers bracket. 4A, I think Great Collegiate making the jump up. I still think they got a really good shot. They won big last night. They'll head to the winners bracket and district championship on Monday. They're definitely a favorite. Gilbert, they lost last night, but they can battle back. And then I think those are really the top contender. AC Flora will play for a district championship. They won last night pretty convincingly. They've had a really strong year. So those are some of the top contenders in 5A and 4A, and I think have a chance to go. Saluda 2A also maybe as well.
Lou Bijak joining us, State Newspaper, as he gets set for a championship weekend here. Real quick, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you and see what you can get. We didn't have this on our kind of our list, but I know lacrosse state championships, I believe, were last weekend, or they're coming up.
Yeah.
What do we have for lacrosse?
Yeah, Lexington girls won the state championship, their first in program history. It was a great match last week, winning the state championship in their first appearance, and Coach Tortorello in her second year. It was they really got hot during the year. They had a strong year, and they were fun to watch. And in that championship game, they jumped out early, and were able to get it done and get their first state championship. It hasn't happened too often in girls lacrosse in the area. They're only the third Midlands team to win a girls lacrosse championship. Chapin and Blythewood were the other two. So hats off to them, capping off their season.
Real quick, Greg weighs in and asks about White Knoll baseball and how they're doing.
Yeah, that was they've been one of the biggest surprises. I think they had 5 wins going in the playoffs, and they go and they win 2 games, and they're into the district round now, and it's really been fun to watch. They're actually moved their game up to tonight, playing Berkeley. Yeah, that definitely have been a surprise. You didn't see that coming. Like I said, only winning 5 games in the regular season, playing in a tough region. Them in Spring Valley as well. Spring Valley made it out of that first round, and they're moving on into the district portion starting tomorrow.
So a shout out then to old Chris Deering, who is will be back next week. But he said if they're playing Berkeley, White Knoll in Berkeley. Lou, we always appreciate it. Thank you for filling in this week and helping us out, giving us a quick rundown here for the high school highlights of the week. And maybe just maybe we'll definitely get you back here on again.
I appreciate it, guys. You have a good one.
Lou, appreciate you.
Take care. Lou Bijak with the State Paper. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Does an incredible job keeping everybody updated. It's Lou at the State is the way you do it. You can do that if you aren't already doing it. We'll come back. We'll get into a little more. I feel like the video game conversation.
We got to have more video game conversation, but Bill, we can't run from it any further. We got to address the elephant in the room. It was not great last night. We got to have the conversation.
We'll get into that too. Yeah. 803-404-6100. It is the early game.
American Italian Way at Pineview Drive, an accident there. Also Nazareth at South Lake Drive. A little bit of flooding going on Broad River Road at Kennerly, so be mindful as you're approaching that area. Again, Broad River Road at Kennerly Road, some flooding in that vicinity. And Highway 378 at Pineview or Halbrook Drive, there is an accident there. Be mindful there could be some standing water a little bit yet as that tries to clear. The rain getting out of here. 84 is what we're looking for as a high today. Some rain tomorrow and some showers on Sunday. Tomorrow's high 70, 72 on Sunday. But right now, it's 62 on 107.5 The Game.
Now, this is up there with games that I grew up on.
Right? So it's not that, so it's not a time thing. It's a matter of interest. This game is 1987.
Okay, okay, I didn't
So,
realize
so
that.
it's not a time thing. So sometimes it's not about the game. It's just the game that you were playing or the game that you were interested in. It'll be 404, 6100. Yes, that theme song.
I think I actually have that because I bought a Nintendo during COVID.
That is a classic banger right there. That is one of the classics. And obviously, if you're talking about the classics, don't think last night was a classic.
Oh, it's classic, all right. Just depends how you define classic.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Gamecock Online
Come on, man,
website.
spit it out. You act like we got beef. It wasn't you.
They're playing a doubleheader today. Last one was so bad they're going to play
Why?
a doubleheader today.
I saw a couple comments saying if they are run ruled on the first game today, can we just say don't worry about the next
Oh,
one?
no. You got to take your medicine.
I've just never seen. I've watched a lot of South Carolina athletics. I've seen. I was a senior in high school, so maybe I didn't understand 0 and 11. Quite like I understand sports now. I saw a Darren Horn year that went south quickly. I saw a Will Muschamp COVID season with 2-8.
I was on the team that got these 63-17.
I was there for that game. Appreciate that. Then y'all all came back and partied at our house. Most of you.
Because it was a wrap.
Your boy Stanley Doty was having a good time.
Shout out to my guy.
Um, what makes this amazing? Amazing is not the right word, but what stands out about this, Preston, is the fact that you to me, they quit. You talked about it. There was a year, one of the 5 and 7 years where guys just kind of failed.
Do you really think that Clemson was 63-17
Right.
better than that team? They weren't.
Right.
That season was a wrap. It was over. And guys were ready to pack it up and go home, either start over or move on or move out. When you start to see these types of things happen, it is a very clear indicator of the health of a specific. It's a very clear indicator because Auburn is not statistically, star-wise, talent-wise. They're not. It's not like they played the New York Yankees last night.
Right.
Right? So there's a clear indicator of the health of what's the pro.
Not being funny, but when you say you guys had to play 4 quarters. There was
Yeah,
no run.
it
There
was
was no
gonna
run
end.
rule because I'm just looking at it. I mean, the numbers here are just astonishing. There's no defending this. There is no sugarcoating it. There's no silver lining. But this baseball team, as you said, if they're ready to pack up, they're going to get up. They've been run ruled down back-to-back games. They're like 7 innings, that's the bare minimum, call it a day.
Yes, the only problem is that you just can't finish these games. Like we need a time limit also. Literally, you should have an hour limit. Literally, you have a 2-factor deal. You can get run ruled, but also the time limit can run out. With this baseball, it's like, man, they can score 50 runs.
Yeah, you just 9 to 5, 22 to 3, 8 to nothing, 24 to 2. It's just I don't and I right now I know a lot of people are weighing in on our text line and are saying basically, Chris is saying they've 100% quit. That's coaching. Paul doesn't have it anymore, not for the new era. Kingston's worst teams weren't this bad. Marshall goes, I'm pretty sure we were run ruled by the end of the third inning. I'm not sure. Let's go out. I tell you, get out the phone lines 803-404-6100. Let someone else weigh in. Ray, how are you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Hey, doing good, guys. Hey, it's Friday, so there we go. We got that going for us. But man, I'll tell you, I'm you guys. I'm an advocate. Heck, I didn't even know there was a game last night. I didn't know the series was starting on Thursday. That just shows you how things kind of fell off, I guess you could say. But so I turned the game on and said, "Oh my God, there's a game!" And it was in the fourth inning. It was 12-1. But I didn't even know it was the fourth inning. I saw it score 12-1. And then the next guy comes up, and the guy hit a guy or something, and the guy hits a home run in the pitch. I'm not like you said. When teams go bad, they go bad. It's like a pitcher, it's like a coach doing it in warm-up. And I mean, the guy just teed off and it was 15-1 in the fourth inning. My goodness. So usually when a team gets up, those teams, they kind of meld in because they got the win. So I was thinking, if I didn't watch tomorrow, it'd be like a 16-8 game. So order for me to score 9 more runs to be able to score. So I'm thinking, God, I hate to even say this about my Gamecocks, but yeah, they packed it in. It's time to move on. I know, like Jamie said, how much it's going to cost us, but I don't see the sense even letting Monterey finish the season. I know that's harsh to say, but that is unbelievable. When you get beat that bad, oh my God, it's harsh. How many we have to do series left in the conference this year?
Correct. Yeah, just play.
They'll let him finish out. I understand that, but I think you got to move on. I know it's going to cost a lot of money, but man, you've got to move on. And the excuse, well, who's going to take the job? You never look at it that way. You look at it, you got to fix this program, and you know what you got. And I wish Mary the best. I really do. But it just didn't work out, one good thing we got going for us. I love Ray Tanner as a coach, not as an AD. I know he did the best he could. He wasn't experienced, but at least the next hire will be Donati. So I think it's time to move on. Thanks.
Right. This is the first huge. I don't think because we didn't. I think we both agreed basketball season was bad, but Lamont Paris gets a chance to fix it. You get a chance. 2 bad seasons, 2 epically bad seasons, 1 epically great season, but he gets a chance and you get your fourth. This feels like the first huge decision of Jeremiah Donati's tenure at the University of South Carolina.
Yeah, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. Where he's grown, where he's the program as a whole, or he's going to have to get on the road and do some selling. Because right now the fan base is not aligned with it being presented there. There's no reason why they should. That was an awful performance. They've had several performances like this in a row. Again, I was part of the team that lost 63-17 to Clemson. That Clemson team was not that much better now. We were done. That moment, you knew. We saw the suits walking from the upstairs, walking to the sideline with their glasses on. You knew things were changing. Obviously, we wasn't going anywhere, but we had a brand new coaching staff. Everybody's not going to survive. I know whether it's going to be the top or it's going to be assistant coaches. Something will change. Something will happen. We'll see where that goes. Everybody should not. First off, should not survive the season is starting. Everybody will not survive.
There's really not word, and I think sometimes when there's not word, like you just kind of laugh at it.
There's words.
Well, there's descriptions. I just 22-3 and 24-2 in 2 of the last 3 games. I've never seen anything like. None of us have. None of us have. What am I saying? None of y'all have. There's nobody out there that's seen anything like this for South Carolina baseball. This is unprecedented territory, and not in a good way. Not in a good way. South Carolina's had, I think, 2 losing seasons in 54 years of baseball, something like that. 56, maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head. This is beyond bad. This is beyond bad.
Well, South Carolina lost 22
You're listening to the early game live from Midlands Technical College here on Beltline. It is the early game. Bill Gunner, how you doing this morning? Trying to get you up and going here and get you ready for the weekend. And right now, need to tell you all about AAA Heating and Air. That's right, AAA Heating and Air. You know all about the hot summer, how they will be. Are you prepared to handle it, or is your AC unit a little bit on the fritz? Are you having some issues right now? Well, guess what? AAA Heating and Air has an incredible deal for you. Give them a phone call, 803-677-1500, and they have 12-month payment plans for repairs. You heard that correct. 12-month payment plans, no credit check. All you need to do is be a homeowner with a valid bank account. That's right. You can stay comfortable without breaking the bank, but you got to hurry up because offers like this do not last. So do what I did. I was about 2.5 years ago. I called AAA Heating and Air, got a brand new heating and air unit put in my house, and guess what? It has worked perfectly. It's kept me warm during the winters. It's kept me nice and cool during the summers, and it'll do the same for you. With Columbia summers coming up, you're going to make sure you call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500. Give AAA Heating and Air a call today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Acton Law Firm. Have you received one of those mean, nasty notices from the IRS? Are you stressed out right now? Is your business or your personal taxes in a little bit of trouble? If that is the case, it's time to give John Acton and his team a phone call and let them help you. They've got proven local solutions. They've helped thousands of families just like you, and they are ready to step in, and it all starts with a free consultation. You just have to give them a phone call. 803-771-9800. Again, that's 803-771-9800. Let the Acton Law Firm help you out. They know how to deal with the IRS, and they know how to deal with the IRS maze. And again, they're ready to help you today, but you have to take the initiative. You've got to make the phone call, and time is of the essence. 803-771-9800. You can also visit them on the web, EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Give John Acton and his team a call today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, we are live from Midlands Technical College here on the Beltline campus, getting you going on your Friday morning as the sun here in the Midlands has at least come out. Oh, boy, was it storming and raining coming in, as if last night wasn't bad enough over on the plains in Auburn as I was coming in. A nice bolt of like one of those, like, oh, that just happened, bolt of lightnings. You know what I'm talking about? Not like the sky lights up, like the
I'm with
bolt
you.
of lightning. And you're like,
Listen,
whoa,
man,
all right.
I have never been one fond of the lightning nor the thunder. So yes, I understand exactly that feeling you're saying.
That bolt of lightning came roaring in, but it's starting to clear up a little bit out there now. And again, we are here at Midlands Technical College for South Carolina's first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship. It'll be held tomorrow. And again, we'll have Ryan Panther coming back on with us coming up at the next segment. 150 competitors from middle and high schools throughout the Palmetto State will compete in a 3-versus-3 tournament tomorrow, and competitors are split into two different groups. I'd learned this. You got the Super Smash Bros. Or Rocket League.
Yeah,
and
those are the two games that they'll be playing. So they'll be playing both of those games. One is more of a fighting game, more as a racing / sports game. So we have two different genres of games that they'll be playing.
So we have asked you a lot this morning. We're not doing 3 hours on a 24-2 baseball game. We got about 2 weeks to keep talking baseball. So we weren't prepared. We weren't really fired up to come in here on a Friday, a happy day, and be like, whoo, and be all. I mean, there's negative. There's nothing right. I'm going to ask you your question here in just a minute, but I'm going to go. Last night was rock bottom.
But
it can't get worse.
I thought we hit rock bottom. We said that.
We are at rock bottom. Yeah,
we said that on Monday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay,
After
no.
the 22-3 game.
No.
We was like, oh, this has got to be the bottom.
No.
Oh, no.
When the second one comes around,
it can go further.
So
let me ask you this. If we thought rock bottom was on Sunday.
Y'all did.
You didn't think that?
No, I was just like, all right, bad double. Because Saturday is when that happened. Was it Sunday? Sunday they had the doubleheader. That's right. Sunday.
Uh-huh.
I was like, it's a doubleheader. Like, okay, they
got beat 22-3 and 8-1.
Second game, 8-0.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then yeah. Don't give them extra credit right now.
Correct.
And so I was like, all right, I don't know why. Like, I was like, all right, we know what this team is. They're not good. I'll just be like, this is a doubleheader. You come back out on ESPN2, mind you, on ESPN2, not hidden from sight.
It's my theory about being on national TV. It can happen in the closet, but once it happens on TV, everybody's like, whoa, it's happening there.
And then softball lost too, and they got run ruled.
Yeah, but they're all right. We give them.
They're fine. Yeah.
Well, because softball lost, but here's the thing: they're gonna rest up. They're getting ready for the tournament, and that's what happens when you have a good team. We, as the fan base, will give a good team the benefit of the doubt. They've been playing well all year. They approached the SEC tournament the same way the Ray Tanner teams used to approach the SEC tournament. That's not a big thing. We got bigger things on the horizon.
So that was last. So we'll discuss it. I see your text. I know you're not happy. Tommy weighs in. The coaching staff is a disgrace. South Carolina baseball has become a laughingstock. I think they should all be fired. There's no excuse to lose that bad. Maneri has definitely lost that team. So, yes, that's pretty much Tommy speaks for everybody. Not for everybody, but for most. 803-404-6100. Better things to talk about. And we're going to get back into a Ryan Panther coming up here in a few minutes. But your favorite video game?
Well, we've been talking about video game. We asked what was the game that defined your generation. We had a lot of folks saying Pong or Halo, COD. Maybe the generation was defined by Grand Theft Auto, which maybe explains some things.
Yeah.
But a better question is, what is your favorite sports video game? Your favorite sports video game. So since this is a sports show and we're combining gaming, what is your favorite sports video game? I'm sure there's a lot of folks that would have some suggestions. 803-404-6100. Your favorite sports video game.
What is yours?
Several from different eras. My favorite baseball game was Bases Loaded. And
Very good one.
It was only bases loaded because you can make somebody charge the mound. And it was a lot of fun. It was the best thing you could do. If you hit somebody, they might charge the mound. So Bases Loaded was my favorite baseball sports video game.
I just got to go with Bill Walsh College. Just go old school. You can go with any of the EA Sports college football games. Obviously, those
Bill
were all
Walsh
great.
was good.
But I'll just go with the Bill Walsh. We'll come back. Send in yours. We'll talk with Ryan Panther. We'll do another hour live from Midlands Technical College. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Old Timey Meat Market. I'm hoping at 7:55 on a Friday you are aware that this weekend is Mother's Day. Boy, do I hope you know that. But if you don't, that's okay. Old Timey Meat Market has you covered. They'll take care of your family dinner, whether that is tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday. Just stop by one of their 3 locations today. St. Andrews Road in Irmo, South Congaree, or, of course, the Lexington store, where I'm guaranteeing you will run into me. At Old Timey Meat Market, trust me, you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. They make it a non-grocery store meat buying experience, and that's why I love going there. They know me, they know Ansley, they know Austin. They know that Austin loves his steaks, that Ansley loves her salmon. So when we go in and visit, they're ready to talk to them because they want to be your friend. They want to be your local hometown butcher. They don't want to just be some generic brand store. And that's why Old Timey Meat Market stands out above the rest. So visit one of their 3 locations, South Congaree, St. Andrews Road in Irmo, or the Lexington store. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
I-20 eastbound before Monticello Road, the 2 left lanes are blocked, so stay right. I-20 eastbound at Monticello Road. Still working earlier accidents, American Italian Way at Pine View. I-20 eastbound after Highway 1, exit 58. I-20 westbound before Broad River Road. Nazareth Road at South Lake Drive. Also, Pilgrim Church Road at North Lake Drive. I-20 eastbound just after Highway 1, the 2 left lanes are blocked there, so stay right. Again, that's I-20 eastbound after Highway 1. Highway 378 after at Pineview Road. Highway 601 at Garner's Ferry and 601 at I-20. So things definitely picking up a little bit. Oh, some flooding Broad River Road at Kennerly Road. So be cautious in that area as well. Rain's out of here for today.
Off and running here. It's been a lot of fun over here at Midlands Technical College, the Beltline campus, getting ready for the first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship. It'll take place tomorrow, and Ryan Panter joining us, Executive Director, co-founder of the South Carolina Scholastic Esports. Now, before I get to you, let's read some of these because Preston asked favorite sports game.
And I figured out my favorite sports game. My favorite sports game was NHL 94. That was my favorite sports game. I played it so much. That's why I know a very distinct number of roster spots from about 94 to 96. I'm your guy.
All right. I can't turn my computer too much because I got it. I'm going to show you a picture because I can probably tell you. But one of our texters weighs in. See, you weren't clear. But he went with the old handheld football game by Mattel.
That is early gaming.
That is early. That is a good game too.
That is gaming. I didn't say video game, so that is gaming, and it counts.
Let's see here. A couple people weighing in. Madden 11 on the Wii. Brandon Jacobs was my favorite Madden player.
I like
6'4", 260. A lot of people going with NBA Jam. And you and Ryan, I think, mentioned off air as we were sitting here, NBA Jam was at the top of y'all's list.
NBA Jams was one of the classics. Matter of fact, Jen, can we get clip number 18 really quickly?
He's on fire! 1 minute to go.
David Slaughter weighs in. Congratulations to him. He says, my daughter plays esports at CIU. Only girl on the team. She loves it. And Ryan Panter joining us this morning as we get ready for the first ever esports high school state. I say high school, but it's middle school. You've got 150 competitors coming from both middle school and high school tomorrow.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of middle schools. We hope that we grow eventually and have our own middle school division. But they wanted to come, and we're like, let's go. I mean, because you never know, they could take these high schools out if they wanted to. But yeah, this is our first year ever doing this. We wanted an opportunity for. They've been playing across the state in their own kind of different ways for a while now, and it was time for our state to catch up with the others. And the others are your Californias, your New Yorks, a lot of the upper states. They've been doing the esports for a while, and it was time for us to step into the game.
So you were what other games are becoming really popular? I think you mentioned that tomorrow you'll do Rocket League and you'll do Super Smash Bros. But what other games are really becoming popular here?
There's always the big one of Overwatch. Overwatch is a big esports game. You have Valorant is another one. Those are kind of first person games. The up and comer is Marvel Rivals.
Okay.
Marvel Rivals is kind of a team-based kind of first-person shooter type elements to it. Those are kind of the big ones out there. You got your old school, like your League of Legends and things like that have been around. But the classics are your Smash Brothers and your Rocket League. But those other ones are big as well.
So let's go back. If you missed the 7 o'clock hour, again, we are here. Ryan Panter, who again is the executive director and co-founder of the South Carolina Scholastic Esports League. This is a high school based thing. It is to put it properly. It's a club. You can create a club at your school, your middle school, your high school. So if you're listening this morning and you think, boy, my son or daughter really would enjoy something like this, tell them again how they would create this at their own school.
Yeah. So it just getting a sponsor or a teacher at that school to be able to help get them going, because at any school, you got to have somebody that's willing to pitch in. And that's the key, having that good coach that's willing to put in the time and help make the program big. After that, if you've got PCs already, I mean, Rocket League's a free game. You don't have to pay anything to get Rocket League. It's free. If you got some PCs, log in, work with your IT department to get those going, and you could start. There's a lot of games that are free that are part of esports. If not, buy a couple of Switches, Nintendo Switches, set up Super Smash Brothers, and you got your leagues going. And Play Versus is an online platform. There's a high school esports league. There's a couple others. And our organization is hoping to start our own league as a state-specific league down the road.
So I remember when gaming was coming along and playing video games was coming along, there was always this, and it's still attached a really negative stigma
Yeah.
to it. While you're just sitting around wasting time playing video games. For those people that may have some of that left over, what are the benefits that are provided for these young people participating in these type of organized
Yeah.
activities?
So I'll first start by saying this: how far gaming has come. In 2027, the Olympics will start Olympics esports. The official Olympic Committee has designated they are doing Olympic esports. It's a little different than Rocket League in that, but we've made it to that point. So that in itself has shown that gaming has changed. But the thing that I like to talk about to everybody is that just like not all of our high school athletes are going to become pro players, it's the same thing with esports. Not all esports athletes are going to become pro esports players, but it's all the other stuff that goes with it. Everything that goes together. This is $1 billion industry. If you watch the tournaments that are on ESPN sometimes, what's all the stuff that goes in to do that? The stuff that you guys are doing, the broadcasting skills, the streaming skills, how to run a stream and how to run YouTube, Twitch, all of the communication skills, marketing, how to learn IT and how to do the networking to be able to make all these careers go in to make those things happen. So even if you love gaming, you can still pick a career that helps you make that happen. And I work at a career in technical education in high school. I work at Lexington Technology Center, and that's part of what we want to bring to the table. We hook the kids by bringing them in with games, and then we start showing them all the other stuff they can do with it.
Yeah, I remember reading a story about a doctor who was a physical therapist who specialized in gaming.
Yeah.
Because of some of the hazards that might come along with the game, and because they were versed in the universe of gaming, a lot of the high-level gamers would go to this specific therapist to help them out.
Yeah, and there's tons and tons of research out there now because there is the connotation, especially, let's talk about the first-person shooters like the Call of Duties thing. Lots and lots of research out there that shows that those games don't cause the actions that we kind of associate with it. So, like, there's just so many positives, like the rehabilitation things. Gaming's become more accessible. We have controllers that allow we had a community event in Lexington 1, and we had students from all abilities there playing and competing. I had a young man in a wheelchair that was beating the tar out of some other guys in the NCAA game that we had going. So, I mean, it's amazing to see all the opportunities that everybody has through this.
It's just crazy to see the evolution. I mean, it's technology, but to think back when we were all 16, 17, the thought of being able to go online, like with your Xbox, your PlayStation now, and play was not something that we gave a lot of thought to. And now my son has he wouldn't understand. I set him up with a Nintendo back on New Year's. We had a bunch of people at the house, and it was a bunch of people I know,
Yeah.
and we played Nintendo, and our boys are all 12, 13, 14. They looked at us like we were playing something from the 50s.
Yeah.
Kind of like we would look at our parents, and that's about the age of it.
Yeah. And it's cool that the progression of the community side of things, like that's what I think is even better. Like the communities you're building around gaming. And my son plays a lot of VR and plays a lot of VR soccer, and like there's a huge community for that. Kids that are starting their own soccer leagues that play online against each other in VR. Like it's crazy.
Well, that's why I really love this event, because we're taking what's online and we're bringing them in real life, right?
Yes.
IRL.
Yes.
They're actually getting a chance to meet the people that they've been talking about, that they've been having conversations with, and that's also a part of the socialization and skills that they're building.
And the team aspect of it and the sportsmanship of it is there. That's part of who we are as an organization, is that you're gonna, when the game is done, you're gonna shake hands and you're gonna say good game, just like you do in any other event.
I agree with what you were saying as it pertains to getting them out of the house and now bringing them into the. So again, tell us tomorrow how everything will kind of work for those wondering, like, I don't understand this, how you're gonna divide up. You mentioned it'll start about 9 a.m. We'll run to about 4 p.m.
Yes. And I'll say this too, anybody listening that wants to just come check it out, there's no cost. Anybody can come and just pop in at the Midlands Tech Beltline campus. But about 9 o'clock, we open the doors. Our teams will start rolling in from across the state. We'll get them registered 9:30ish. We start getting practice rounds in. That pool play goes. We get them ranked up, and then we'll have a bracket going, and they'll play. It's double elimination. So that's the same thing in Rocket League and in Super Smash Brothers. They're on teams of 3. So their teams will play, and if they lose 2 games once that tournament plays, they're done. But if they make it all the way through to the end, they will. We got trophies, we got plaques and medals, and they're going to bring home the glory. So
This is going to be really cool because I've seen videos of them playing the huge League of Legends tournaments where there's people in the audiences and they're going crazy. And so I would love to see this grow into an event where all of the fans, even the people who are not playing, the people will come and watch and experience this high level of playing, especially that gamer from Somerville who's on the up and coming.
And we appreciate everything with Midlands hosting us here. I mean, Midlands Tech having us here, their program is up and coming too. So students that come to Midlands Tech will have the opportunity to be part of esports as well. We are hoping that in the next year or so, we're going to have, because there's school districts that aren't fully in yet. And once they do, we're going to need a huge system. Like we're going to need like a conference center to host this thing.
Yeah, I've seen
videos, and it's going to be crazy. And we're excited about the future of South Carolina and esports.
Well, it's going to be really cool. It'll be here tomorrow at Midlands Technical College. Again, Beltline campus is where we're at. And as you heard Ryan say again, Ryan Panter joining us this morning, again, executive director and co-founder. And I'll ask you again, how did this come to you? You're like, we got to do this?
Well, yeah, myself and David Griggs, who's in Somerville, we got together. We had seen each other, been to some conferences and talked about esports. And I started it in Lexington 1, and he's been down in Somerville, and we got together like we gotta help create some organization to help our coaches, and it's just was all over the place. It was like Wild West, as I said before, and we wanted a way for our student athletes to have an opportunity to showcase what they're doing and to bring some validity to the sport.
Lexington and Somerville coming together again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at us. Just changing the way South Carolina works. Ryan, we always appreciate it. Man, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having us out this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to showcase esports and as you said, the merge of what you guys are doing and what we're doing. So
you two ready for a hot take? Wasn't a fan of NBA Jam.
No, really.
I didn't get into NBA Jam.
Man.
It just wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't. I played it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
A buddy of ours
you were probably like, oh, that's not real basketball.
That's
They're not
exactly.
They're not running the pick and roll right.
I can see that.
That would never happen in a game.
Yeah, it's actually exactly what I thought. It's like, this is Rock and Jock. This is the MTV Rock and Jock. Yeah. 803-404-6100. Keep sending in your favorite game. Chris goes with give me Asteroids or Defender on Atari.
Okay. All right.
We talked earlier from an old one, but Mutant League Football.
I've got a couple who said Mutant League Football. So 803-404-6100. You can continue to send that in. Ryan Panter, again, with us this morning. We'll come back, get into a little bit more. Of course, there's going to be video game discussion. And also, we will get into there was not a video game last night.
Oh, it was.
Okay, it was a video game. Somebody would have put the sticks down. Would have been demanded.
Get off the sticks.
We'll tell you. We'll recap the baseball game the best we can. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing, where for nearly 30 years they have been the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. And it's that proven history that is your assurance that their professionals will get the job done in a safe and pleasing manner for you and your operation. Let's be honest, whether it's your home or your business, your roof needs to be protecting you and keeping your operation dry and running long into the future. And at Mid-State Roofing, they understand that. That's why they design and install bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep that operation dry and running. So give them a phone call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are there to help you. 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. Mid-State Roofing is there to help you to keep your operation dry and running. So don't hesitate. Give them a phone call today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. 803-356-1919. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek.
It's definitely gotten busy out there this morning. I-20 eastbound before Monticello Road, the 2 left lanes are blocked. I-20 westbound before Broad River Road, an accident there. More accidents to report, including Nazareth Road at South Lake Drive, Pilgrim Church Road at North Lake Drive. We have a report of some flooding there in the intersection Broad River Road at Kennerly Road. Also an accident 378 at Halbrook Drive, 601 at Garner's Ferry, and 601 at I-20. So do be careful out there this morning. Still some residual standing water from the rain and storms that we had overnight, but that should be cleared out of here. Looking for a high today of 84. Some rain may be back in the picture tomorrow and Sunday, 70 and 72 for the highs both days, 62 right now.
Choose your destiny. Flawless victory. Choose your destiny. Flawless victory. Fight.
Another game. That one actually should be easy to figure out because they yelled it there at the very end.
Mortal Kombat! And the thing you remember from Mortal Kombat, Bill? Finish him. And you know what? Auburn might have done it last night. Might have dealt the fatal blow.
I think you're right. Like I said,
Finish him.
It sounds like y'all were saying that on Monday, though, that's what Florida did.
Bottom, Bill. How could we not think that 22-3 wasn't the bottom? How could we not think that?
Well, I don't know. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying that, all right, doubleheader. But the big thing here, all right, you've got 2 more games against Auburn. You can't leave. You get 3 more. And then you got to
check, please.
Well, you can't. Although it feels like the players have indeed been like, yeah, we're done. Like you can't get. You were a college athlete. Tell us all. They are not that bad. They're not that bad.
I was on a team that lost to the Clemson Tigers 63-17.
Wasn't it good? By the way, y'all are favored in that game by 1.5.
Yeah, and also I was hurt that game. I don't count that against my
Good point.
personal
job.
book. But I was on that team. Clemson was not better than us, that much better than us. However, at that point in the season, everybody was ready to go home. There was a lot of things happening in the locker room and a lot of things going on within the team. The team culture was not very good. That score was a very clear indication of what was happening. And when that happened at that time, you could see the suits walk down from their suites in their fancy digs, and you knew things were changing. Everybody will not survive. I don't know who will, but things changed after that 63-17 loss because it was embarrassing.
But like in that game, y'all were not. When I say they're not bad, obviously they just got beat 22-3 and 24-2. They're not a good baseball team, but the talent level was not 63-17. That's what I'm saying. This team's talent level. I'm not saying they should be winning these games.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
If they were losing 7-2, we'd be like, okay. Well,
that's exactly what I'm saying. We were a mediocre team that year, 2003, whatever year that was. We were a mediocre team who was ready to pack it up and pack it in. And I would say I recognize some of the same similarities in this program right now. But I would be hesitant to say that the players just quit and it's not going great. It's very difficult. That is an indication of the health of the program.
And I'll say this, John on our live stream says they are that bad. Okay, well, if they're that bad, then I don't blame Paul Maneri. It's not his fault. He's got to recruit better talent. He said it after the Oklahoma series, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm personally putting more blame on him than I am on something hadn't clicked. Something you can answer it better because, like you said, you've been there. You saw something like this happen, and then it's not him. It's the players. if they're that bad. I don't think this was a regional team last year. This was a super regional team 2 years ago. I know they lost some players. I'm not saying that they didn't lose some key players. Obviously, Cole Messina, the run he had at the end of last year. But I kind of defer to you on this because I feel like you went through a situation like this. But the thing was, in y'all's situation, that was it. This team actually has six more regular season games. then when school is out, and here's the other. I hate to say it. I'm joking. I am semi joking, and I'm not joking. Preston, baseball is a unique sport. College baseball is a unique sport because during college football season, you're going to class. Your daily activities don't change. I think they're finishing up exams this week. So like next week, you think they're checked out
All
now.
baseball all the time, baby.
Yeah, you're like, if you think they're checked out now, wait until next week when it's like no school and let's hang out and be at the pool. I could be at the pool with my friends. I could be on Lake Murray with my friends. I could be downtown in 5 Points. Oh no, I got to go to play a baseball game because my friends aren't coming.
Listen, man, there's bad teams on every single level. We did during Chop Talk, we talked about what the White Sox were doing this year. They were terrible last year. It is very easy for a team when you don't see anything positive happen at the end of a year. It is very easy to check out. And but I would hesitate to think that, it's just the players. It's easy for adults to check out too. When we were on that 63-17 team, you don't think those coaches were taking phone calls? You don't think they were sending their resumes? You don't think they were checking in, getting texts from partners, trying to find a lifeline to get up out of there? Everybody in this situation is culpable, and everybody's looking around. Coach Holtz used to say it. At this point, when the ship is sinking, you could either be swimming or paddling or putting your life jacket on. There are people over there that are putting their life jacket on. I would venture to say that people are trying to figure out where their next check is coming from next year because it probably won't be from here.
And when Coach Holtz got to say that, there was no NIL, so he didn't even reference the players.
Correct. And that's what the thing. You see, this is the time you start to see a lot of closed doors in the meeting rooms. You start to see a lot of hushed tones, people talking in little groups that disperse. I've been here. Coach Holtz survived. He stayed. We had a lot of coaching changes underneath him. Everybody cannot and should not survive the way this season has progressed this year.
Well, it doesn't get better. It's not going. It doesn't get better at all because coming up today, there will be a doubleheader due to the threat of rain on Saturday. So 2:00 today, Preston. So you get beat 24-2. I'd like to be like.
Correct. Finish.
Very good. Very good. Very good work there, Jen. But 2:00 today, and then it'll move on to the second game will be after that. A doubleheader.
You remember in Mortal Kombat when the dude was just wobbling around?
Yeah.
And you reach in, you grab his heart out, and you put it up in the air.
I was the one who throw the chain to him or pull him for. I can't remember.
Come here.
Yeah.
That's what South Carolina baseball is doing right now. They're just wobbling around, and they're just waiting for Luke Cage to just come here, pull his heart out, put it in the sky. Maybe you'll electrocute him like that one dude did.
Brandon Stone, by the way, gets saddled with a loss. Do you
appreciate it? Hey man, it's time to grow up. You get that one forever, my brother.
Like this, do you look at him and be like, "Oh, you're the pitcher that took the loss in the game"?
It happens.
803-404-60.
Finish him.
Yeah, 6100. Everybody, y'all got eyes. Y'all saw it. I mean, there's just my question, Preston, is the future of the program, and I guess the best thing that I mean, did Jeremiah Donati, is he in the car ride? Is he in a car heading to Auburn right now? Because, like you said, that 63-17 took place at home. You can see the suits coming down. Like, you're on the road. You go back to the hotel. You just turn your phone off, right?
For sure.
Oh, sorry, it died. Yeah. Forgot to bring the charger. Left it back home.
Definitely don't. I wonder if Jeremiah has changed his phone number yet. Does he still have a Dallas area code, or does he have an 803 area code yet? Because if you see that Dallas area code pop, I'd be like, oh, brother. I'm not at Dallas. Oh, boy. Don't want to hear that.
803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll get into a little bit more video game discussion. And Preston's got questions. You're going to ask me a question now?
Yeah, we got favorite questions, favorite stories from the week.
We will get into it. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It is the early game.
Preston here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshield, no problem. Doesn't matter whether they're at school, home, work, Absolute Glass can come out and take care of the job. If you're at home and you're looking to increase the value of your home, you can do that with new windows and mirrors. And Absolute Glass will take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, what Absolute Glass will take care of it. Tom, if you could see Ray and Marianne, check them out online at absoluteglassinc.com. That's online at absoluteglassinc.com.
Several accidents out there to make you aware of. 601 at I-20, an accident. Also 601 near Garner's Ferry. Highway 378 at Halberg Drive, trying to get that cleaned up. Have some flooding in the vicinity of Broad River Road at Kennerly Road. Accidents, Broad River Road at Greystone Boulevard. Pilgrim Church Road at Highway 6. Nazareth Road at South Lake Drive. Long Green Parkway between Longtown Road and Clemson Road. Two more to let you know about I-20 westbound before Broad River Road and I-20 eastbound before Monticello Road. Going to want to stay right because the 2 left lanes are currently blocked. The rain should be out of here. Looking for a little bit of rain tomorrow and Sunday. Highs 70 and 72. It's 62 right now on the early game.
Don't know this one either.
803-404-6100. This is another classic, another banger, one that you might just put on pause just to hear the theme from that song. One of the first.
You don't even have to
ones
know
that
the
you would hear.
video game. You just
Yeah.
equate it to movies.
There you go. You could
Yeah.
equate it to the movies. You could hear the dings. Yep, it was one of the classics. One of the classics. If you know that one, if you know, you know. If you don't, you missed out on childhood, man, because that was one of the great ones.
What movie? Jen?
Really?
What movie?
007. James Bond.
You know what? I've never. Okay, that at least tells me. No, didn't like that game. And Jen, I'll be honest. I was more into Roger Moore as James Bond. I was into the old ones. I don't know of any of the Pierce Brosnan. What did he go on a run of 4 or 5?
And I'll admit I've never watched any of those. I'm kind of a Roger Moore fan of those, and I think Daniel Craig actually has done a good job too. But yeah, I never watched the Pierce Brosnan ones.
Yeah, Daniel. I'll be honest, I haven't watched. So yeah, but I got into the old. My father loved them. VHS tapes all over the house of James Bond. So he would just put those in, and so I watched the old. But I don't know the last James Bond.
But that music's been around for quite a while.
Music.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in
classic game. GoldenEye 007. One of the first person shooters that you could play. You can match up with teammates. You can run through the maze, the open maps and everything. It was great game. Many hours wasted playing that game.
I'll admit, growing up, I never really got into. I'm trying to think. I played a little. I just never got into games outside of the sports genre. I think one time I got what was it, like Echo the Dolphin? I think I got frustrated by that. I could get past a certain point. I did play. Now growing up, I'll admit, I think somebody earlier, I thought I might have been more of a Zelda fan.
Zelda was huge. We played that earlier.
Yeah, so a bunch of people weighed in. I didn't get back to it, and a bunch of people knew that. But Zelda, I think I was more of a Zelda fan than I was a Mario fan.
Zelda was cool. I was more of a Mario, but Zelda was cool because the cartridge and the iconic theme song was really, really big.
But yeah, 803-404-6100. Yeah, there you go. That music I know. That one.
That's what the game had in it. Just was a little more techie sounding.
Gotcha. I like that. That's a classic. Again, we are live from Midlands Technical College. Tomorrow, they're going to host their first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship. You can actually come out and check it out from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. We've had Ryan Panther on throughout the morning talking with him about it. It's high schools and middle schools, 150 competitors throughout the state. And this is something that's up and coming, Preston Thorne, and really cool to be out here today.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see the anticipation and all the setup for it. We're looking at all of these monitors and screens that are going to be here for it. This is going to be really, really cool. And again, if you have a negative stigma towards esports, things have progressed and things have really moved forward as far as what the leagues offer and what they're offering as far as skills to the students. So this is a really cool event. It will be streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. So if you want to find it, if you want to check that out, there will be ways that you can see this, but it is a cool event that's happening.
Questions.
So we got some King of the Hill style. This is the end of the week. We go through the whole week. We talk about all this stuff, and then it just disappears into the ether. And so I want to go through this King of the Hill style. I'm going to give you a topic, and I want you to decide which topic wins for you, which was a better story. All right. So first off, let's start with this: Gamecocks get beat 22-3 versus Florida, or Rasul Faison hires a lawyer.
All right, we're going with what I like better.
Yeah.
The lawyer.
All right, cool. Why do you like the lawyer better?
That's where we're at in sports. We're hiring lawyers, and that's kind of where we're at. 22-3. I was shocked, but I'm kind of like, okay, they quit. Again, I don't think I took the 22-3 quite as seriously as y'all did.
Maybe you
last
should've.
night I did.
Maybe you should have. Maybe we was a little bit early on that one. Okay, Russell Faison hires a lawyer versus Lenora Sellers, pick number 2 in Todd McShay's mock draft.
Yeah, well, this is a developing situation over the summer. The hype is coming. Remember, I said the thing about winning the bowl game. This is why the bowl game all of a sudden took a little more importance than a typical bowl game. South Carolina wins that game, 10 wins. You're probably talking about him as a top 10 team. If Lenora Sellers did that, maybe he was a dark horse Heisman candidate. Well, they lost. And yet we're seeing South Carolina being ranked somewhere between like 12 and 8 in these early preseason polls. And now you're seeing Lenora Sellers in these mock drafts popping up as a top 10 team, or excuse me, a top 10 draft pick. I've seen him as low as 11, which is crazy to say, and as high as number 2. So yeah, that Lenora Sellers stuff, man. The hype is building.
Lenora Sellers, top 5 pick in Todd McShay's draft versus Nick Harbor being number 11 on Todd McShay's mock draft.
Yeah, that one, Nick Harbor, I questioned.
Okay.
That Todd McShay, I mean, I have to go back. R.J. Roderick at one time was a first-round pick in a draft, and I'm not sure he finished playing football in college.
Okay.
But it made me wonder what I think Nick Harbor has got a lot of opportunities. I'm a little more surprised at Lenora Sellers being as high as 2.
So you're taking Lenora
I'll take
Sellers.
Sellers.
So Lenora Sellers still go. All right, Lenora Sellers as the top 5 mock pick in Todd McShay's draft versus the Boston Celtics, missing 45 3-pointers.
Sellers. 45 3-pointers to miss is hard to do for professionals, but that's the NBA game now. Steph Curry, thank you. Thank you and your sweet little daughter that you would bring to the podium afterwards and look all cute and cuddly, but this is the NBA now.
Lenora Sellers being picked in the mock draft in the top 5 versus the Boston Celtics, missing 75 3-pointers in 2 games.
Do you know how hard that is to do for professionals? Real quick, I didn't know this was coming, so let me just see if I can pull this quick stat real quick here. I'll actually probably take the Boston Celtics. I mean, again, 75 threes for professionals with a team that was a world champion last year. But real quick, what I want on this is Derek White's 3-point total because we're looking at you, Jason Tatum, and we're looking at you, Jaylen Brown. Derek White keeps shooting, and I'm not sure why.
Okay, so you're taking the Boston Celtics missing 75 3-pointers in 2 games.
In 2 games.
So it wasn't enough that they missed 45 in 1 game. But
No, because you have a bad night. I get it.
Yeah,
Something happened. Tom Thibodeau's.
Any bad night, you could miss 45.
I mean, look, I've seen teams in college go like 2 for 31. Yeah, these things go crazy. You clunk 75 of them in 2 games. You're working on something.
Bill, that brings us to my next story. The Boston Celtics missing 75 3-pointers in game 2, or the South Carolina Gamecock baseball unit getting beat 24-2 against the Auburn Tigers.
Broaden it out. 67-10 in 4 games.
Okay, so you like a sample size. All right.
Well, because now lump in that 22-3. Now lump in 8-0. Now lump in 9-5. Oh my goodness, what has happened? Like, we were talking when I came, y'all on Monday, you were talking about y'all were on Twitter watch. You're on phone watch during the show. Is something going to break?
It wasn't the conclave.
Yeah. You're watching and you're like, all right, is news going to break? Are we going to see smoke coming from Founders Park over there? So you're thinking, all right, they'll kind of rally, right? And maybe they'll get beat 10-4, 10-2, maybe 8-0 again. No. 24-2. It all goes together. Take that one.
All right, so is that your top story of the week?
Yes.
All right, top story of the week is as Gamecock baseball has hit a new low, which we previously thought was rock bottom, and they have managed to go lower.
I personally don't think it can get lower. I mean, I guess you could get beat 35-0 today in game 1. I guess you could get shut out and be beaten, 40-0 combined in 2 games. you've shown who you are now.
Well, this was part of the story all week, because when we had the conversations when Paul Maneri was on the halftime show or the post game with Elijah and Jay, it's been very pointed that he says that he was coming back, that he wasn't going anywhere, because that was a lot of the conversation early in the week. Obviously, he's an older coach. This is his first year. He's coming out of retirement. Maybe he doesn't necessarily want to do this. And as of Tuesday, he was saying, no, I'm coming back. I didn't come here for 1 year. I'm going to be the coach of this team. However, Thursday night had not happened yet, and whatever's yet to come of this weekend had not happened yet. So I still think this story is developing.
It is. It's crazy. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll wrap everything up here. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Let me ask you, how are your carpets looking? How is your upholstery looking? Your rugs, your tile? How is everything looking? Because we're heading into summertime. People are going to be tracking stuff to your house. You need to go ahead and set up that cleaning right now. Zero Res, with their patented ZR water technology, is ready to keep your carpets cleaner longer. And they do that with their, again, ZR water technology that does not leave behind any bad chemicals, no harsh soaps, so you can enjoy your carpets. Just give them a phone call today, 803-262-4020, and schedule your cleaning. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for just $119. Again, that's 3 rooms cleaned for just $119 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game. You can book online, ZeroResColumbia.com. You can also ask about Zero Res commercial cleaning. That's right. If you're a business and you need some cleaning, contact Zero Res today, 803-262-4020. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
The summertime will be close to approaching. The spring is already past. So you need to call the folks at Integrated Media so you can get your Samsung Terrace TVs waterproof. You can get Sonos outdoor speakers for TV and music, maybe even gaming. You can get yourself out there, get your gaming setups, have surround sound so you can play all the games that you want. Maybe it's Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors, or my personal favorite, controlling all your devices from just one remote. So from home theater setup to adjusting your thermostat, maybe it's monitoring your security system from your cell phone, Integrated Media is the company that you need to call. Call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or you can reach them online at integratedmediainc.com. That's online at integratedmediainc.com.
8:49 as we get you up and wrap things up here live from Midlands Technical College, where again we've been here celebrating tomorrow's state championships for esports. That's right, Midlands Technical College here on Beltline will host the first ever Scholastic Esports State Championship, where 150 competitors are expected from across the Palmetto State. And joining us now is President of Midlands Technical College, Dr. Greg Little. Welcome in this morning. How you doing?
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. You know, people have told me my whole life I have a face made for radio, and so today.
So look at the
is
camera
today
right
we get
there.
to
It's
prove
no,
it.
yeah,
That doesn't help me.
yeah.
It's no good.
Yeah, you just got to look at the camera there. We've been on it all morning. Well, congratulations. I know you're excited about this event tomorrow.
Absolutely. Anytime we get to put our college, in the forefront of the community, to show all the wonderful things that are taking place at Midlands Tech, we always want to jump at that opportunity and take advantage of that.
How did this come together? You and Ryan and everybody working together and kind of making this a big deal, making this 150 kids here tomorrow. It's going to be a phenomenal middle and high schoolers.
Yeah, so Ryan and I knew each other from our time in Lexington One, and we started. We've been talking about esports for a long time, and then as we see how esports are developing on the higher education level, we started having conversations about how we could bring all of those two worlds together in one place. And that's how we ended up with us hosting this competition tomorrow.
Dr. Little, I knew you. I saw your face. Then I heard your name, and it all came together with you. So okay, cool. All right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool that you've contributed to Midlands education in so many different ways. How do you see Midlands Tech adding on to education in the Midlands for our students and our families around here?
Well, we had an instructor the other day say something that I thought was really interesting. He said Midlands Tech makes people good at doing stuff. And I think that very clearly captures who we are and what we do. And the great part about what we do is I think we make people's dreams come true. We are able to, we turn these jobs that used to be dark, dirty, and dangerous, and now they're high wage, high skill, high demand, and highly mobile. And when you think about those kind of jobs that we're creating, jobs where people are walking out making in the mid 70s and they have no student debt, we're making college affordable for first generation college students. We really are making a true impact in our community, and that gets me excited. And you can tell
Absolutely.
I get excited to wake up and get here to make that kind of difference.
Well, again, thank you for your contributions across the Midlands. But yeah, when I saw your face and then I put the name together, I was like, oh, okay, I got you. So yeah, appreciate all your contributions.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Just a few minutes left, but tell us a little bit about Midlands Technical College, Beltline here, and the facility that you're running.
Yeah, so we have 150 plus academic programs. We have the Beltline campus here. We also have our airport campus. We have a campus over at the northeast off Faro Road. And we also have the Harbison Theater off of Harbison. And then we have some satellite campuses around as well. But those are 4 major campuses. We really have a lot of outreach and touch points with our community. It's something we're very proud of. Have a satellite campus at Fort Jackson, for example. We have another satellite campus in the heart of Lexington, the North Lake Community Center. Okay. Used to be the old Lexington Middle School. You may have
I went to school there. Yeah,
school.
I attended that school.
And so we try to reach out and touch points across our community. We are actually the 3rd largest provider of higher education in our state. We behind University of South Carolina and Clemson, we're number 3, because when you take all of our corporate and continuing education programs as well as our academic programs, we serve over 25,000 people here in the Midlands annually. So that's really far-reaching and a lot of impact that we get to have.
I should have asked you this first. Dr. Greg Little joining us with Midlands Technical College. How long have you been doing this? How long?
I have been here 11 months. So I'm clinging to the new guy status for about another month and a couple weeks. I think once you start your 2nd year, you can't be the new president anymore. Yeah. You're now the old president. So and I still have about a month and 2 weeks left before I can no longer be the new president.
So I'm going to ask you, I'll kind of put you on the spot a little bit. For people listening this morning, children about to graduate, kids about to graduate, what is your vision for this particular campus and for Midlands Technical College for people who are maybe looking for options here going into next school year?
Well, I want people to know when they're getting ready to apply that if they come to Midlands Tech, they're going to matter. They're going to be more than a number. We're going to bend over backwards to them to make sure they get what they need to be successful. For some of our students, that's going to be, it may just be a calculus class this summer. They need to come. They feel more comfortable taking calculus with us this summer. That may be what you need. You may be looking to transfer to another college later on. We can take care of that for you too. But what we can also provide you is a skill that is going to give you an incredible job that is not like a glass ceiling job. It's not a dead-end job. It's jobs with great growth opportunity across the board, and that you can have a family-sustaining wage and make a difference right here in your community.
Awesome to hear. And we'll let you out on this. Big plans for Mother's Day weekend?
Yeah, so we're going to the Carolina Hurricanes game for Mother's Day weekend. We're taking care of the ladies.
And I presume you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan.
Absolutely. Go
All
Canes.
Well, yeah, that's what he meant
How'd you
earlier.
feel about
When
the
he
game?
said,
How'd
when
you
he
feel
said
about the game last
Carolina,
night?
that,
Well, I didn't like the game last night. Now, I don't know how much time I got left, but we got the Washington Commanders are my favorite football team, but I can't stand the Washington Capitals. That fake tough guy stuff they do, cheap shot in the whole game. It's like watching Duke basketball on ice.
y'all have a great.
That's
Everybody
true
have a
pro.
great weekend.
Appreciate y'all.
We're out.
Had to get it out there. I like it. Thank you. Nice. Yeah, I saw your name and I saw your face. I think I know him from somewhere. That's right. So this is your first year.
It is. Yeah. So I was
Bill Gunner from Mid-State Roofing.